Hi guys, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Oh, Instagram just connected. Okay, hi guys, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Jessica, the naturopathic doctor here at the Coach House, and today I'm going to share some of my favorite summer health tips. So I am trying to show you our beautiful sunny weather in the background. It's probably not being the greatest for how the clarity of me, but you'll enjoy a little bit of sunshine while we talk about this. So summer has finally arrived here in southwestern Ontario, and it seems to have taken forever. However, the sun is out, the temperatures are warm, and so that tends to bring some challenges staying healthy over the next few months. And so one of the big ones tends to be hydration. So with the added sun and heat, and with everybody trying to get outdoors and enjoy this weather, oftentimes we're slacking on how well we're staying hydrated. And so that can lead to some dizziness, some dry skin. We want to make sure that there is no lack of hydration or any heat stroke or any of these things. So I just got a message from our lovely owner here at the Coach House asking me where the Instagram TV is. So I am going to be uploading this video to Instagram TV so that we are not, you're not going to lose it just on the Instagram Live, but I believe that's the only way to do it. I could be wrong. However, I'm not very Instagram savvy yet. So it will be uploaded afterwards. So if you start watching, you want to check back later, it will be uploaded to Instagram TV as long as Instagram lets me do this. So it will still be there if you want to check back on any of these tips. So back to my hydration. So staying hydrated is really important. So one of the best ways to do this is to grab yourself a reusable water bottle, preferably plastic free. Again, we want to avoid any of those leaching chemicals or any of those endocrine disruptors that can come from plastics. Plus, with the recent, I believe, federal ban on one-time use plastics, going glass or going stainless steel is the best way to go. So grab yourself a reusable water bottle and carry it with you as much as possible. If water doesn't really do it for you, you can also use a soda water, and with all of the soda streams and everything else that's out there, pretty convenient to use. Again, if you need any flavor, skip the additives, the Muse or whatever they're called, Crystal Lights, all of that. They tend to be loaded with either sugar or alternative sweeteners that are not great for our health. And instead opt for adding any kind of fruits that you like, berries, strawberries, watermelon. They all work really great. We always have a bunch of different ones and different concoctions at the Coach House for anyone that's coming in for a visit. Cucumber works really well too if you want something a little bit less sweet and more refreshing. And right now, all our berries, everything's going to be in season. So you can really mix it up and see whatever kind of combination works for you. Herbs work well too. So if you like a little bit of peppermint thrown in there, go for it. Another option is always to brew some of our favorite herbal teas, throw it in the fridge, and you're going to have a nice iced tea. If you need a little sweetness, adding a little bit of honey is going to be okay, but it'll give you some options. For kids, one of my favorite things to do, and that's a great treat for them, is grabbing any of that fruit that, again, we have in abundance, that maybe even getting a little old in the fridge. And if you throw it into a blender with a little bit of unsweetened nut milk, you'll be able to make some really easy DIY popsicles, lower in sugar because we're using that unsweetened nut milk as kind of a base or a liquid. And then what I also like to do is throw in a couple of chia seeds, or flax seeds as well, just to add a little bit of fiber. And it makes a really great alternative to those just like sugar, fake colored popsicles. And so you can always make a few ahead of time. Whenever fruit's kind of going a little bit off in my fridge, if we haven't eaten it fast enough, I'll throw it into a blender, mix it up, put it in those the molds, and then I just kind of take them out of the molds and keep them in a container in the fridge. And they tend to be a really big hit with kids. So staying hydrated, keep that water bottle with you, and it'll help you remember to take those drinks. Sun protection is another big one. And so I talked a few weeks back about using some of those mineral-based sunscreens and why that's a really great idea, not just for our health, but for the environment. And, there's a lot of states that have now banned those oxybenzone-based sunscreens because they are hurting our marine life. So grab a mineral-based sunscreen. So there's a new one that we tried. Goddess Garden is one of my favorites because it is a combination of zinc and titanium oxide, and it works really well. It goes on really well. Think Sport is another one that's I've seen a lot of people using. It's available even at Walmart, which is which is why I think it's really convenient. So I went and picked it up just to give it a try. We did test it out at Wonderland, no burns at all. So it works quite nice. It goes on pretty smoothly. And again, it's not hard to find mineral-based sunscreens anymore because they are becoming more and more popular. So even at some of your standard kind of big box stores, you'll still be able to find some. And then of course, your Goodness Me's, your Phil Huds, they will all carry that. When it comes to facial sunscreen, Cocoon Apothecary Reflector is always my go-to. It's a nice tinted one. It's moisturizing as well. Again, remember that sun with the heat and the sun, it will tend to dry out your skin. So this is a really nice one that will give you some hydration. Sorry, I gotta lift it up for Facebook there. That gives you some hydration, and it's slightly tinted. So it works well where you can throw it on, have a little bit of a tint, and not worry about putting on makeup all the time as well. So get yourself a good mineral-based sunscreen. Again, sunscreen is not your go-to. You wanna kind of avoid that high sun, get some shade. Use clothing, right? Those longer sleeve tops, protecting yourself from the sun with those physical barriers is kind of your best option. And we do need some sun, right? We don't want to be layered with sunscreen all the time because we do need vitamin D, and we get that from the sun. So around March, April, our vitamin D levels tend to be kind of at their lowest because we won't have had sun, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, for all of winter and usually fall. And then around September, our vitamin D levels should be at their highest because we'll have had sun all year. So if you are concerned about vitamin D, because sometimes it's still low even with the sun, it's a really great opportunity to measure your blood work and take a look at how your body's utilizing that vitamin D. It's interesting because still, even with supplementation and with sunlight and everything else, a lot of times people are pretty deficient. So in general, I'll say this is a good time to drop our vitamin D supplementation. However, if there's any kind of concern, it's a great opportunity to test your levels and see how the dosage that you're taking is actually boosting it or keeping it on the lower end. And it may need to be adjusted. Everybody's a little bit different. Now, even with the best of intentions, sometimes sunburns happen. And so one of the best ways to treat sunburns is, again, making sure you're really hydrated. That will help heal your skin. The other one is aloe vera. And so you can get that green, that neon green gel, but one of the best ways is to use the straight aloe vera plant. So I'm gonna do this for both. So mine is, I do not have a green thumb, and this guy is still thriving pretty well. So pretty easy to grow. And I think most of us are have used this before, but even just breaking off a little bit of a leaf, and then you can squeeze it out. And you can even see, this one's great, where the gel is kind of coming out. And so you can use this aloe vera gel straight on a sunburn, and it will help to kind of ease any of that burning. It's a nice protectant, and it helps to heal that sunburn. It also works really well for bug bites. And so having an aloe vera plant that thrives in the sun is an easy addition to your garden or even your medicine cabinet, to have that option there. When it comes to bug bites in general, even though I am a naturopath, I do like DEET. And I like DEET because here in this area, less concerned about mosquitoes, but we do have ticks, and Lyme disease is scary. If I could wrap my kids in a bubble, I probably would. And ticks and Lyme disease are pretty serious. So if they're going into wooded areas, I still say, the research shows that DEET is your best bet, and, tucking your pants into your socks, giving yourself that protection, doing a tick check. If they're just playing in the backyard and they're running around and you're not in the long grass, you're not in an area where there's a lot of ticks or Lyme disease, then sure, using an essential oil or one of these natural-based bug sprays is probably just fine. But if you're heading out camping, if you're going to be in an area where we know that there are ticks and Lyme disease, I would still say, be on the safe side and do the DEET. Again, long sleeves, tick checks, all of this is kind of our best bet. Another thing that a lot of people are suffering with right now is allergies. And so allergies are where our body reacts to something in our environment that it deems as a foreign threat, when in reality, it may not be. And so our immune system just tends to be a little bit overreactive. Two really easy supplements that tend to help with at least mild allergies will be your vitamin C and your quercetin. And vitamin C will help regulate your immune system, up those white blood cells, and reduce the allergy symptoms, while quercetin will help stabilize those mast cells, so we're reducing that inflammation. Both of these are a great option to give them a try, see if they work for you. Generally, I tend to, like in practice with patients, I like to look at what the symptoms are and treat based on what they're experiencing, right? And so a lot of times it is upper respiratory, and I lean a little bit more towards herbs. And again, it'll depend on what that exposure is, right? Like if you have some grass allergy, but you're really in a building, you're not really exposed, you don't find it bothers you too much, yeah, vitamin C, quercetin might be enough to just kind of stabilize everything and keep your body happy. Whereas, you know, if you're that person that's allergic to grass and, you know, you're cutting grass for the summer, or you're in landscaping, or, you know, you're working for the city and you're out and you're exposed to this all the time, it may not cut it. And then we're looking at doing more herbal support, maybe some liver work. Again, your liver is what's kind of clearing out all that inflammation and anything you're exposed to. So then it tends to look a little bit deeper. Acupuncture is another great option to deal with some symptoms. So if you are experiencing allergies, it's a good idea to talk to your naturopath or talk to your healthcare provider and see what is the best option for you. If you're looking for a little bit of support, because sometimes you get a bit sniffly, some of these simple supplements or nutrients may be enough to kind of stave off those symptoms. But again, it really has to be individualized. And some people's allergies are really brutal this time of year, and so you may need that extra support. Probiotics are another one that are great for those allergies because it, you know, 70% of your immune system is found in your gut. And so making sure that your TH1, TH2 balance is good, that your microbiome isn't inflammatory, that your immune system is balanced and it's not overreactive is super important. And probiotics play a huge role in that. And I think if you've watched my videos before, I feel like I talk about probiotics all the time and the microbiome all the time. And it's because it does have such an important role in our health and allergies and everything else. And now a lot of these supplements have this added benefit. So nettle tea is great for allergies, but again, you can make a nettle tea and you can use it for hydration. Your probiotics are really great for allergies. And again, if you're going to picnics and you're going to barbecues, there is a higher risk of food poisoning in the summer months. And this is because we are out and about, and you know, those salads or whatever can be sitting out a little bit longer, and there can be some bacteria that grows. Again, we don't really know, right? Like if it's been out for a little while. So making sure you're taking good probiotic can help stave off any kind of little bacteria or anything that you're exposed to help prevent getting any food poisoning or that upset stomach, especially because this time of year we tend to be at more parties. We're eating things that we're not necessarily eating all year long or all the time, and we're celebrating a little bit more. So probiotic is a good idea to keep as kind of your standard supplementation of just that extra health support. Yeah, it will also, a good probiotic can also help prevent yeast infections, especially in women. Now that we're outside and we are in bathing suits more, yeast infections can become something that a lot of women deal with, and making sure you have a good probiotic orally is a great option. If you do end up having a full yeast infection, there are some really great options as well for vaginal probiotics that will help kind of rebalance that flora there and make sure that you're not getting any irritation. Muscle aches are kind of the last thing that I'm going to talk about, because our activities tend to increase, and gardening is a big one. And so even at the clinic, we see a lot of people with some aches and pains after spending the day kind of hunched over in the dirt gardening. And being in the dirt is great. It's great for our mental health. It's great for our probiotic exposure. So we don't want you to stop, but we don't want you to be in pain either. So if you are having a little bit of muscle aches after a day of gardening, something like an Epsom salt bath can be really helpful. That magnesium in the Epsom salt is great as a muscle relaxant. You can also take magnesium orally, which will help with any kind of tight muscles. It works as a great, again, muscle relaxant, helps with sleep because it is relaxing. So it's a really easy option to kind of help those muscles. But regular healthcare is a big part of that. So if you're used to kind of doing that maintenance of once a month you're doing massage, once a month you're doing some acupuncture, once a month you're doing some chiropractic care, it's best not to drop that off in the summer and come back hobbling in September, which we see more often than not sometimes in the fall months. So trying to keep up and make sure that you're not injuring yourself or being really thrown off, even though we're on vacation in the summer and it's nice out, is a good option, because it makes it a lot easier to prevent than it is to correct a bunch of issues. And this is a great time for teachers. So teachers are in that final stretch right now. And I think just like all the parents, everyone is pretty well done at this point. And so a lot of times, Christmas holidays, summer holidays, you come off from teaching and everybody's getting sick. And so this is, summer is a great opportunity for those teachers to take that time and to recoup and give their body that extra support after a stressful year and end of school year, report cards, all of that. And so this is a great time to kind of revamp and get ready for the next school year, because we want everybody going back feeling good and energized and not still run down and dreading that return. So taking the summer as an opportunity to get some rest, rejuvenate, avoid these possible health issues that can come with the summer months is our take-home message for this Wellness Wednesday. So we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back again in 2 weeks. If there are any questions, you can post them up to our Facebook page, or I believe Instagram will let you do it as well. Again, I'm not super savvy on Instagram yet. So if there's any questions, please pass them along. If there's anything that you have questions about that you would like to see, supplements that you're not sure about, any health concerns that you want to talk about, you can forward them along. We're always open to using Wellness Wednesday to address anything that people have questions about. So again, thanks for watching. Enjoy that sunshine, and we will be back again in 2 weeks.